I know you belong to a family of phenomenal musicians, like literally a massive lineage you have, and just tell me, but tell me about that moment where you realized
Okay.
that stage
I
is where you belong.
realized that
You know.
my grandmothers, Kunjumani and Neela, Sikkil Kunjumani and Neela, they belonged to the stage. Each time I saw them perform, right since when I was 4 or 5 years old, I've been watching them perform on stage, and I could easily say that that was their home turf. Even in their homes, they were not so comfortable with people around, but on the stage, they were like queens of the art form. They could call the shots. So, and then learning the art form, it didn't give me that confidence immediately about myself. But I think it was way sometime in 2000 and 2001 when I finished my post-graduation and I started singing in concerts, and we were hanging out doing a lot of these track singing, jingles, chorus, and little playback singing opportunities over there, that I started realizing, what more I could do with my voice, with my music, and with the lineage, as you said, that has been blessed on me. So at that time, I realized that probably this is my stage. I have to explore whatever comes my way fully and not do a half-hearted approach in music. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm still doing now. Yeah, happy to do it. Yeah. I play that album on YouTube. It's called Vishwatma, and it happens to be one of my most favorite albums. I still remember the way we recorded that Adaram Maduram around 12 or 1 a.m. With Ajay Atul. And I mean, Ajay Atul are like superstars of Bollywood and Marathi music now, today, right? And I've been following their work since then. And the way we used to have conversations about Carnatic music and Ilayaraja. You remember what great fans they were, no? Every BGM of Ilayaraja songs they used to know. And we used to talk about all that. Great times. I still remember those. I forgot this occasion when I actually had the gall to show you. You were doing so much music with interesting music directors, and I was showing what I have done in music. You were so kind enough to listen to that. I used to imagine myself as someone like A.R. Rahman. I used to sit at 11:30 and compose these tunes, just for my own satisfaction. And I used to show it to all my musician friends, and I think it was after our concert that I made you go through that ordeal of listening to all those pieces, and you still remember it, so it must have been a little better than what I had imagined. So, but then I think the world of live music, completely, I mean, I discovered so many different facets of live singing after that. And things became busy. And I didn't really get the time to sit and compose the way I used to. But now I see some of my friends doing excellent work with Sibelius and other different softwares. And there's a little corner in my heart that says that, man, you should have done it. You should have gone in that direction too. Maybe someday when I just sit back and I want to produce my own music, I'll go back to whatever the upgraded Fruity Loops is today. We had a performance at some hotel in Arapet, and I sang this some hotel. I think we were joined by Devan Ekambaram was also there. So the three of us, we were given 2 songs to sing or something, and I sang the and I thought you were going to sing a film song, but then you came with a completely new idea. You said that this is my own composition. I was like, what? Ranjith has his own composition? Didn't tell me. I still remember that song.
It was actually originally composed by my band back then. So it was Gibran, who is a music director today, was also a part of the band. So we all did it together. So finally, when Gibran got an opportunity to do the movie, so he finally also got it on the movie. So that's how it's out. It's a film song today. So So it was also sung by
Yeah.
Neha Bassan and me. So we did it as a duet. So I'll sing the original version of that song, which is the only version that I perform these days.
Yeah.
If at all people ask me, "Can you sing? Please sing Porale." I go back. I take them back to those days. They never get to hear
Yeah.
the movie version at all. So I'm gonna go back to that version again. போராளே போராளே கண்ணால காதல சொல்லி போராளே போராளே நெஞ்ச திருடி போராளே 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 கண்ணால காதல சொல்லி போராளே போராளே நெஞ்ச திருடி போராளே உனையே நினைச்சிருக்கேன் இருந்தும் நெஞ்சுக்குள் தீயாச்சு போராளே போராளே போராளே
Wow.
போராளே.
Great, man. You sound like that, just the same. They decided to open a 24-hour Carnatic music channel because they had a Hindustani channel. And when they wanted to come down south of Vidyas, and that when the opportunity for me came, I mean, I just jumped at it. I said, this is a dream work for me. It was a part-time job. I had to go to a studio in Egmore for 3 days a week, and they would send emails of their requests of which artists they would like to listen to. And that's how we did. But I did get to interview famous musicians, and the whole interview had to be edited and interspersed with their songs.
Wow.
So that was a brilliant experience. The opportunity to meet musicians as a student, but now also as
wonderful learning.
It gave me a fresh perspective, and just listening to it's exactly what we listen in all day radio, right? They compile programs, and then they present and they announce who's the artist. They present the songs and give a lot of information about the composer, and since I was from that field, I really enjoyed the time that I got with the music and with and also learned a lot about studio techniques, how to exactly when I walk into the popular Hello FM or the Radio Mirchi nowadays for an interview, I can see, if I had not gone into Carnatic music, probably I would be on the other side of the interviewing table in Radio Mirchi. Rather than being the guest, I would have been interviewing people like you. I really enjoyed that work also. But that said, for me, it became a little bit of a challenge when I had a concert that evening, because I had to talk a lot. And you will agree that on days we perform, voice rest is the best, right? It became very tough for me, and I could feel the strain in my voice when I sang. So, and then fortunately for me, it moved to Bangalore, and I had to take a hard stand that I will not shift my base to Bangalore, and I remained in Carnatic music in Chennai since then. Yeah. One of her all-time hits will be something like Bhavayami Gopala Balam Manasevitam Tatpadam Chintayeyam Sada Bhavayami Gopala Balam Manasevitam Tatpadam Chintayeyam Sada Bhavayami. Just a sample.
Tell us about your collaborations, because of course there's one thing that we constantly encourage our learners also is to collaborate, is to find other musicians to work with. And I know you had an amazing series with I'm sure you still have the series with Anil Srinivasan that both of you do. Like, I'm talking about outside of concerts, because I believe classical concerts by themselves are like a collaboration, because you literally meet the artists on stage, and then you literally collaborate, and you exchange ideas and interesting patterns, and so many. I mean, everything just happens on stage. So I think the art form itself is collaborative. But tell me about collaborations that are outside of Carnatic music, and how
Yeah,
you enjoy them, or
as
what
you
are
rightly
your
said, Ranjit,
existing ones that you are excited
music, if
about?
at all, teaches us to be more democratic. We appreciate the ideas of others. At the same time, we don't lose our own idea, and we find a way to merge both these worlds. And at the end, the audience is king. Just like you have the mantra of today's movies, right? It's the content that matters. So
Yeah.
we put our brains together and give what the audience will love. So that has kind of made me adaptive to
Wow.
collaborations, I would say, thankfully. And while I was working more with violinists, mridangam and ghatam and kanjira and all these hardcore Carnatic musicians, the opportunity to play with a fusion band did come a few times in between during my concert schedules. And it was at that time, I think in 2005 or 6, when Anil Srinivasan came with this concept of having just the Carnatic voice and the Western piano, and both of us sticking very firmly to our individual traditions. And we just gave the output to the audience, and they loved it, and they called it many flowery words as magical and devastatingly beautiful and these things, which gave us a lot of hope and confidence that probably this is a new sound that we have kind of hit upon, and let's try to do more albums like this. And it took us on a different journey of live concerts and recordings, and then collaborating with other musicians, including Murad Ali Khan and Mandolin Srinivas and different other musicians. So each one, they bring a lot of new sets of rules and new sets of techniques that helps us evolve in our own collaborations. So from that moment onwards, it has been a wonderful string of collaborations with many world musicians, dancers, with other artists who are also not in the music field. They could be visual artists, they could be experimental theater artists, dance artists. So when they come with a concept like, hey, can we do something with Carnatic music? It just gives me immense joy that they view Carnatic music as something that can carry this dialogue forward. And that's what we need today in this world, right? We need an amicable way to have a dialogue first and see if things work out. And if things work out, we leave it to the audience, whether they make it a viral video or whatever. So we just leave it to them. So at the same, after that, it's just up to the audience whether they like it or not. But we are so enriched with the process of collaborating with wonderful people. So that's the whole beauty of collaborations. Other artists who are also not in the music field, they could be visual artists, they could be experimental theater artists, dance artists. So when they come with a concept like, hey, can we do something with Carnatic music? It just gives me immense joy that they view Carnatic music as something that can carry this dialogue forward. And that's what we need today in this world, right? We need an amicable way to have a dialogue first and see if things work out. And if things work out, we leave it to the audience, whether they make it a viral video or whatever. So we just leave it to them. So at the same, after that, it's just up to the audience whether they like it or not. But we are so enriched with the process of collaborating with wonderful people. So that's the whole beauty of collaborations.
Yeah, so tell me, this is literally like catching up after ages, so literally we're doing it online. I can't believe this, but it's still amazing. So a lot of our learners have this one challenge of bringing a balance between what they call as like studying or working or doing a proper regular job, and then managing music, your passion and all of that. And I know you have a degree in financial management, which is like super fancy. Like you're one of those guys who really like did everything. Like you are the perfect juggler, in that sense. So tell me about that. Like, tell me, how did that go? Like,
I didn't work
at some point in your time. Like how are you balancing
in a
this
corporate
work
environment at all. But I wanted a postgraduate degree. So, and I thought I would just try to push along the BCom degree as well. But somehow I got lucky and I started loving my education, and I started loving the subjects they taught me in BCom, and I did well. And that's why I wanted to go for a PG degree as well. But at that time, I found it difficult to manage my concert travel and the studies. And at the same time, I just finished the degree. And again, you always want more, right? And I said, I finished PG. All my friends are now going into job hunting. And I am going to sit at home from tomorrow onwards when I'm not, I got my degree, and I'm equipped in the same way my friends are. But next day, they are going to a job, and I'm going to be sitting at home jobless, searching for the next concert. And that was really scary for me. And I told my father that probably I should also apply for something. And that was the time when BPOs were a rage, right? They were a rage, and everybody were going for this back office, the night shift work, working night shift, earning 15K, 20K per month, and they were happy. And I said that probably I should try this. And I remember there was an ad in the Hindu from HP, the company, and they wanted fresh recruits from a financial background. And I remember the interview was just 3 blocks away from my place, near the AVM Rajeshwari Kalana Mandapam. And it lasted for 5 minutes, because the second question they asked was, will you be able to work night shifts? And I said, I won't be able to work night shifts. And they said that you may please leave now, because we are looking only for night shift employees. And that's it. And my father was surprised. Did the interview even happen? I said, yeah, it happened, and I came back. That's it. And it was my father of all people who said that, why don't you just give music a try? Why do you want to balance music with work environment? I'm not saying that it's not possible, but he said, just give about 6 months or 8 months into music. You still have to work on your music. You have to practice daily. You have to visit performing musicians. There is a lot of that's the whole new world out there. Now that you've committed yourself to classical music, please do what's required in that area. And that's what I did, and it has not failed me, thank God. And the experience that it gave me through concerts, through lessons from my gurus, and the experience of working with wonderful musicians on stage and traveling with them off stage. You will agree with all your the wonderful band that you have, the travel that you do. It's sometimes the travel that teaches you many more things, life lessons, music lessons, little stage management lessons, and all these things. And I didn't feel the need to go back to a work environment, although I did do a little bit of RJing for World Space those days. They had a 24-hour music channel, Carnatic music channel, and I did a little studio work at Surang Studios, the famous Surang Studios. So I assisted the sound engineers there because of my background in Carnatic music. So all these things were, it just helped me to realize that, if you are serious about something, you have to get into it full time. And there is no question of having Carnatic music as one among many other streams. And for me, it worked really well.
And thank you so much for everything that you've been sharing. It's so valuable. And one of the things that I love that you said is even for someone like you, given the kind of legacy that you come from, it did feel like at the start, it did feel like music was something that you may not be able to monetize from. And that's a fear that we actually see a lot of people have. Of course, that stigma is reduced compared to how it was, I'm guessing, when you guys were starting off, but it's still there, and we listen to it so much when it comes to our learners. And Ranjith's job sometimes is really like giving them that one push to go out there and become visible in whatever way possible and keep working towards it. But I would really love to know, how did this change for you? And I'm sure like a lot of people that end up watching this video right now or even later would love to know, what did you really do to become a full-time musician and, to completely monetize from this craft that you've held so closely all your life?
See, one major difference between Carnatic music and film singing is that because at one point of time, I was kind of doing both. Ranjith knows, and he used to call me and call me and say that, Macha, in the studio, 11 o'clock, I used to go there, and he comes like 5 minutes before the session. He finished the session. He said that, no, I have to go to the next studio. He immediately went. I used to head back home. It was his most busy times, singing jingles, tracks, and chorus. And he was waiting for the break to happen as a solo singer at that time. And I was trying whether to go into film music or Carnatic music. I was in every place, not belonging to one single place. But then I think just like Ranjith got a great break, I think you got a break singing for a Jiva's movie, right? I remember the song, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. It's a lovely song, and I was so happy listening to your voice in that song. More than me, my mother was very happy. She said that, oh, pa, it's like. So at the same time, yeah. So just like that,
so sweet. My hugs to Auntie.
I was singing concerts. I was happy singing my whichever slot it was, because you have the slot system in Carnatic music. You have to start out as a artist in the afternoon, and then they give you little chunks of 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and then you have to impress the people there. And if the people and the organizers feel that you are ready to pull a bigger crowd, they'll slowly promote you to the evening slot. And I was patiently waiting for all that to happen. And I think the moment, it was not one single concert, it was, I think, a whole 365 to, I think, 2 years that it took. I just like I told Ranjith, I had to believe in myself. That's the advice given by several musicians who are much senior to me. They said that you still have a long way to go in believing in your music. You sing just like you are taught. And the next time you sing, you have to sing from your heart, and just sing like that's going to be your the biggest concert of your career. Just sing like that, and that was the advice that they gave. And as I said, many memorable concerts happened in the span of 1 to 1.5 years, and I think in some way those concerts paved the direction ahead, and it got me opportunities outside India. It got me album opportunities. It got me opportunities to connect with very seasoned artists and musicians who because in our system of music works a lot on word of mouth. So if people start spreading the word that here is a young and promising artist, and because in those days we didn't have the YouTube live and the Insta reels to make you popular overnight. And we had to wait patiently for our turn. We were just waiting when we will be pushed forward. And when that happened, the responsibility was multifold. Having got that break, having got that positioning as a performer among the so-called greats of Carnatic music, you had to be unique in your own way. And if people came to your music, they were looking for something special, and you had to realize what that speciality was, and try to give it in a very unique way each time. So I think when I was 22 or 23 and I started performing concerts outside India, I kind of gained a lot of confidence in my singing. And that's when I truly started believing in my music, and I kind of decided that Carnatic music is what it's going to be for me from here onwards. And happily so, it has been that. And because of Carnatic music, I got great opportunities to sing for Raja sir in his house, and a couple of recordings for him. And now people know me as a Carnatic musician who's welcoming of all genres of music, thanks to what I did in early 2000s with my good friends like Ranjith and all.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I know, Carnatic doesn't have like a specific set of vocal practices usually. So I was very curious to know, what is it that you do as a part of your sadhana or as a part of your vocal warm-up to keep your voice the way it is?
Voice, I believe that each musician has to, draw up their own voice exercise syllabus. We do have the basic lessons in Sarali Varisai, Jandai Varisai, and Alankara and everything. So for me, what my guru told was, you sit and sing every day. You try to come up with as many different varieties of Sarali Varisai as possible. It doesn't have to be the linear approach given in the Gana Martha Bodhini. It can be something like and today I teach some of my students the exercise that I do, which is like Sari Gama Badani Zani Daba Magari Sari Gama Badani Zani Daba Magari Sari Gama Badani Zani Daba Magari Sari Gama Pa, sustaining on one note, the consecutive note. And so that gives you a different idea of your voice and how you're able to hold on to a note. And so I think each musician, along with their guru, they have to kind of embark on the journey of what is the best voice exercise that is suitable for my voice, because each voice is different. And that's what I did. And that's what I encourage my students to do. And most of them, they come up with different sets of Tata Varisais that we have in Gana Martha Bodhini. And I mean, recently as I think 1 year back during the COVID times, I hit upon this wonderful video of Kaushiki Chakraborty ji and Ajay Chakraborty ji having a little conversation when Kaushiki ji was little and Ajay Dada was teaching her the basic sadhanas of Hindustani music. It sounded similar to Carnatic music, but it was so much more complex. And I immediately took that for my exercises. So you have to find your own rhythm and your own set of exercises for voice. And of course, apart from that, today you have a specific field called voice expert or voxology on different things. So they specialize on how to use your breath, how to use your vocal box, and how to give rest and how to stay hydrated and all those physiological things that surround the voice. And all said and done, voice is bound to get a little tricky at sometimes. You cannot understand the human voice. It's after all an organ, right? So it is affected by multiple factors. And for me, the mantra has always been stay hydrated and give voice rest. So that's it. Expect the unexpected and find joy in that chaos. A lot of our Indian music is chaotic. And I mean it in the positive way, because you don't know what's going to happen. And you might have prepared song A, B, C, D at home. And over there, suddenly it might become A, B, C, and G something. So because the D would have been already performed by someone before you, or the audience might come and say that we don't want this song. Because it's a very complicated form of performing art. So I think earlier I used to be very put off if something didn't go according to plan. And but later on, looking at people like my grandmothers, people like big artists performing with so much of ease and comfort, even if they were asked to sing something at the moment, they would used to happily do that. And the main reason for that is that they were well equipped with the basics, and they had a lot of repertoire in their kitty. They had a lot of sadhana, they had a lot of practice hours. So they were completely ready to take on any challenge on any day. So now, even if I'm prepared, I think that preparation is only about 70% of, or maybe 60% of what's going to happen on the concert. Because for that 40%, earlier it used to be a lot of nervousness for that 40%, but now it's like a very nice mixture of trepidation, nervousness, but at the same time, a lot of eagerness to find out what's going to happen. Rajini Solomari, let's see. If it comes, it comes. Or if it doesn't, maybe we'll rework it in such a way that the goof ups don't leave the stage. That's why you're blessed with such good co-artists to work with. So I wait for the moment where my violinist will inspire me, where the mridangam artist will give me a fresh set of ideas. But sometimes the audience, they have this beautiful habit of coming up with some raga choices. I'm one who always waits for the audience. If they have a choice of ragas, I love to sing it. So when they ask something, your mind immediately says that, you have to do that because it's something that they already like, and you don't have to work hard to convince them or to impress them, because they've already said that this is what they like, and your job is to do it.
just recently found out that in Carnatic music, you all don't have the concept of rehearsals or rehearsing for your concert
Not
traditionally.
not as a band. We rehearse individually, and on the day of the concert, we just probably sometimes call the team members, because we don't usually work with a fixed set of artists, just like you have in Western bands. Our members keep changing from concert to concert, so we just call them and say that this is what we're planning to sing, and they have their ideas. They said that, can we do this? Can we do that? And it's just a series of phone calls. And on the stage, we find that what we discussed, it never comes out. It comes out in a different way.
But what I also love is that a good performance in a Carnatic space is more about good chemistry between, the musicians who are involved. And that's something that I love, because a good performance is also something that says that you had a lot of fun on stage with your fellow musicians. And that is such an exciting thought. I just recently heard this from Ranjith and I was so mind blown. But
you have to be in a live concert to enjoy these dynamics between artists. A live concert dynamics is something amazing, no? I know how much it takes for you to constantly update yourself, because I feel there's even more competition in your field. I'm not saying that this is my field, that's your field. I'm not trying to put a wall between us, but there is competition in every field. But I see the amount of singers that are popping up every day, and the amount of fame that is available instantaneously, and the pressure to hold on to the fame is even more immense today. And kudos to what you're doing, Ranjith. And as I said, Pallikoodam is such a wonderful initiative, passing on what you have learned, what you have experienced to the next set of listeners, next set of performers. It's a great job, and I wish all the students, all the members of Pallikoodam the very best in learning, in performing, and in feeling their art.
Thank you so much.